Jain friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the CHANAKYA Dialogues English. Hatred against Jews. You put a small Jew baby in a microwave and then you switch it on and the baby burns. This is religiously sanctioned hatred against Jews. Countries that thought like Saudi Arabia. There were more leaders in the Muslim world who had the vision and the brain of Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The problem is these guys don't have brains. This is racy and all. Jain friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the CHANAKYA Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Friends, it's all about Israel and Palestine nowadays, Israel and the war against Hamas, all the Muslim countries coming together, condemning Israel, countries like Iran saying that let's break away absolutely all diplomatic contact with Israel and also saying that we need to use oil as a leverage against Israel. And yet there are other countries which are saying that no, diplomatically, while we sort of condemn what Israel is doing, I'm talking about Saudi Arabia, UAE, and many such countries, while we condemn what they're doing, but we need to keep on diplomatically engaging with them. So there is a difference of opinion in the Muslim world also on how to deal with this entire war that has erupted all of a sudden after Hamas terrorists attacked peaceful Israelis and killed 1,400 of them. Now, so ladies and gentlemen, here are a couple of things I think that should worry Europe, that should worry UK in particular. In London near Hyde Park, very famous, landmark in London, Hyde Park, 300,000 quote-unquote pro-Palestinian supporters. Because people have been saying that, Major Arya, you need to make a distinction between Palestinians and Hamas. Though increasingly for me, the lines are blurring very fast, but okay. Pro-Palestinian supporters shouting pro-Hamas slogans. Pro-Palestinian supporters shouting pro-Hamas slogans. And the Prime Minister of UK, Rishi Sunak, comes and says that, I strongly condemn this and, a small number of people who are vitiating the atmosphere of UK, etc., etc. And then there is also this pressure upon Rishi Sunak to sack the Home Secretary, Suella Braverman. She's the Home Secretary of the UK, and they want him to sack her because she's been very vocal about what is happening to these protesters. And earlier she was very vocal about immigration. Being of Indian descent, she said a lot of negative stuff about Indians. I don't agree with all of what she said, but yes, a lot of what she said makes sense. It does not matter if the person entering any country legally or illegally is an Indian or a Chinese or an Afghan or a Mongolian. It does not matter. An illegal alien is an illegal alien. And you must treat him as such. That needs to be the policy of every country. Now, what has happened here? And then I'll come to my question. I have a question that I wish to ask of you and wish to ask of everybody, all Europeans, and especially people in the United Kingdom. See, today you have 300,000, which for UK is a huge number because your population is very little. You hardly have any people living in the UK. It's a very, very small population. So when I compare it to countries like India or China, it's nothing. So 300,000 people gathering for a rally is a big deal. Now the issue here is, let us assume, and this scenario is not so fantastic that you cannot think about it. With every passing day, it enters into the realm of, if not possibility, then in the realm of, okay, maybe it's possible. Now, here's what I'm saying. Let us say this war expands. Iran is calling for the expansion of war. 2-3 other countries are calling for expansion of war. Muslim countries like Pakistan, typically, which have no spine, are sitting on the fence, waiting to see where they can make a profit from or where they'll get some money from, and then they'll jump accordingly. If there is money in peace, they will say peace. If there is money in war, they will say war. That is typical Pakistanis for you. But apart from that, Iran is saying, you need action in Gaza. Iran is saying that words are not enough. You need action. So Iran is talking about military action. It is talking about diplomatic action. It is talking about economic action. Let us say 2-3 countries jump in and expand the scope of this war and the geography of this war. So there is a vertical escalation and there is a horizontal escalation of conflict. It's happened in the past. It's happened in 1967. It has happened in 1973. So I'm talking about the 6-Day War. I'm talking about the Yom Kippur War. It's happened in the past. So it's not like this is in the realm of the fantastic. No, it's not. This is very, very real. And I like to understand. So let us say a few Muslim countries, a few Muslim Arab countries join in and they start attacking Israel like it's happened so many times in the past. And let us say the United Kingdom's parliament, because of their ties with deep ties with Israel, let us say UK's parliament tomorrow says that we must send UK troops to Israel to fight alongside the Israel army against Hamas and the other forces, the armies of these Arab countries. Let us say this is something that happens. And the UK parliament decides that yes, we are going ahead with it. We are sending troops, like we send troops to Iraq, like we send troops to Afghanistan, we are sending troops to Israel to fight against the terrorists in Gaza and the other armies of these other countries in Gaza or elsewhere in Palestine. What do you think these 300,000 people who were raising pro-Hamas slogans, and all of them, to my mind, British citizens, UK citizens, what do you think they will do? What do you think their reaction will be at that point in time? Will they support their parliament? Will they stand behind their country? No. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, what happened in France a few months back? Immigrants, they burnt France down. There were thousands of automobiles that were burnt. There were thousands of, or literally hundreds of houses. There were public libraries. There were churches that were burnt. There was mass arson in France because one guy got shot. A policeman shot a guy and they burnt France. Tomorrow, anything can happen in the UK. And these are just 300,000. Maybe there are another 300,000 who have not joined it. They were busy somewhere, they were traveling, it was too far for them or whatever. But they are all over the UK. And we are talking about UK because this rally has happened in UK. And this is what I want to say. Anybody who's saying sack Suella Braverman is against the United Kingdom. Anybody who's saying that this woman needs to go, they don't know what they're talking about. Suella Braverman may have spoken bitter words, but those words are the truth. You see, you have let the Trojan horse in. And today, I'm sorry to say this to all the Britishers, you have a very powerful and a very active fifth column inside the United Kingdom. And you don't know how to deal with it. Because if you do that, you will be called Islamophobic, you will be called anti-Islam, you will be called racist. And this is something that everybody is scared of. Everybody is terrified. No, don't call me a racist. I don't want to be called a racist. And you will compromise on Britain's national security because you don't want to be called a racist. The problem is, I'm not talking about any religion. I'm not talking about Hindus or Muslims or Sikhs or Christians. I'm talking about Hamas supporters. And I'm only talking about Hamas supporters. If you do not wake up, UK, you're going to find that you will have a civil war on your hands because a few months back it happened in France. Again, I'm saying this is not in the realm of the fantastic. Don't think that, this can never happen. It has happened in France. It has happened in France. A country that is equally powerful, a country that is equally strong, a country that is also part of the United Nations Security Council. They held France to ransom. They burned everything to cinders in France. They will do that here. So, two things that you need to understand. First of all, we are running this hashtag and I want everybody in Europe to understand what this hashtag is about. My friends, the hashtag on your screen is deport Hamas sympathizers. Anybody who sympathizes with Hamas, deport him. This is the biggest fear that these people have. Any illegal immigrant or any immigrant, that he will be deported. Use this fear. I'm being very blunt here. That is your weapon first. Anybody who says anything, you have proof. You have proof that this person has raised pro-Hamas slogans. He has raised slogans of jihad. Do you think they are going to stop attacking Britain, or they are not going to attack Britain just because they have a British passport? Is that your logic? And here, people, weaklings all of them, without a spine saying, sack Suella Braverman. Suella Braverman, you need 10 of that woman in UK. You need 10 of her. You shouldn't sack her. You should have 10 of her. And every European country should have 10 Suella Bravermans in positions of power. You have opened immigration floodgates. There is no checking who comes inside your country. Everybody is welcome. Anybody and everybody who has got a sob story, fake story, they'll just say, no, you're welcome, you're welcome. As if you think that your large-heartedness will be repaid in kind. No, it will not. They mean to do you harm. And I just want to tell UK and I want to tell all the countries of Europe, your children have no future unless you act now. Deport Hamas sympathizers. That is the hashtag. Deport Hamas sympathizers. Unless you do that, your children have no future. You will not recognize the United Kingdom in the next 30 years. It'll be over. And you're not going to recognize Europe in the next 30 years, by the way. Anybody who supports Hamas, tell them one thing. You have to publicly support the policies of the government. You have to tell this to all these people, who are thinking of supporting. You support Hamas, we send you back to the dustbin from where you came. End of story. We'll just throw you out. Right? You have every right to oppose the policies of the UK government. You have every right to do that. But you cannot be publicly sympathizing with Hamas. That's a terror organization. You can't do that. You do that, you're out. Use deportation as a tool. Have mass deportations. Clean up UK, clean up Europe. As I said, your children otherwise will have no future. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now coming to President Ibrahim Raisi. Now, this guy, he says, there is no other way but to resist Israel. We kiss the hands of the Hamas for its resistance against Israel. So, he's saying, kiss the hands in the sense that, it's a mark of respect. And for him, for the president of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, Hamas are heroes for killing little Jew children. Of course, that is the mindset, that is the ideology, kill the Jews. That is what they've been saying. That is what the Iranians have been saying all along. It has nothing to do with Palestine. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been saying time and again, a lot of people disagree. I don't care if you disagree or agree here. I'm not here to have a school debate. The fact of the matter is that unless and until one thing is made clear to the world and the world understands that this whole Palestine is simply, it's nothing. Palestine is nothing. Okay? It is just an excuse. There is hatred against the Jews. This is exactly what Pakistan tried to import in Kashmir. They tried to import it in Kashmir. They tried to get the Muslim countries together. Nobody came together. You know why? Because there is no sanctioned hatred against Hindus, except in Pakistan. Except in Pakistan. Because of various historical reasons, except in Pakistan. There is no religious sanctioned hatred. Yeah, infidel, that is one thing. Kafir, that's another thing. You see, I'm not talking about that. So I'll explain that separately. I'm not talking about that. But there is a special place for hatred against Jews. And this has been going on for the past 1400 years. There is a special place for hatred against Jews. Kill the Jews. It's propagated very openly. And I'll come back with proof to you. And in the interim, I would like to quote this. This is Sahih al-Bukhari. And in Sahih al-Bukhari, it says very openly that on the day of judgment, on the day of, and this is not in the Quran. This is not in the Quran. This is a hadith. This is in Sahih al-Bukhari, which says, on the day of judgment, the stone or the tree will tell Muslims that, hey, Muslim, come. There is a Jew hiding behind me. Come and kill him. This is written in Sahih al-Bukhari, and here is the proof in front of you. This is the reason for this conflict. It's not Palestine, for heaven's sake. It's not Palestine. Palestine could be a political issue. It could be an issue of geography. But this hatred against Jews, you put a small Jew baby in a microwave and then you switch it on and the baby burns. This is religiously sanctioned hatred against Jews. This is exactly what Iran is saying. But then there are sensible countries also. There are sensible Muslim countries like Saudi Arabia. Here I have a list. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Jordan, Egypt, Bahrain, Sudan. All these countries. They have said, no, we will continue to have diplomatic engagements with Israel. We'll continue to have diplomatic relations with Israel. We're not going to go to war with Israel. Yes, we don't agree with what Israel is doing, and we will continue to condemn it. We'll ask for peace, we'll ask for a two-state solution, we'll ask for whatever, but we're not going to break away from this. This is what Saudi Arabia and UAE is saying, and I wish there were more countries that thought like Saudi Arabia. There were more leaders in the Muslim world who had the vision and the brain of Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The problem is these guys don't have brains, this Raisi and all. They're dolts here. They're driven by hatred. Whereas if you look at Saudi Arabia, you look at Prince Mohammed bin Salman, this man can see in the future. He's a visionary. He's trying to change his country. He's giving people rights. He's trying to change the entire look and feel of his country. That is what a visionary does. He's a statesman. Raisi is just a president of a, I don't know how he managed to become president of Iran. He's just a president. He comes and he goes. This crown prince, he'll be remembered forever for changing Saudi Arabia, making it a 21st century modern state. That's what he's doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you need to understand. This Prince Mohammed bin Salman, he banned the hadith in Saudi Arabia. He said only the Quran, which is the way it should be in an Islamic country. I mean, I agree with him. He said that a lot of hadiths are misleading and people believe them and people take action. Saudi Arabia has banned hadiths. Saudi Arabia is saying we will no longer follow the hadiths. We will follow only the Quran. That is what Prince Mohammed bin Salman said. And this is exactly what should be there. They said for us, there is only one constitution. It is the Quran. Anything which comes after that, we do not recognize. Great. That is why you see so much of peace in Saudi Arabia. You see so much of peace in the UAE. Because they know what they're doing. These other guys, Iran, in their own mind, they are in a perpetual state of conflict with the other people, people who disagree with them. And it's not that they're fighting only against non-Muslims. They're fighting against Muslims also. Perpetually in conflict, perpetually in a state of war with the other. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I come to the end of today's video. I have a request from all our viewers, and my request is, whenever you send in questions, it's important that we know your name. We don't know your name because you have, these IDs, which are like passwords and all that. So, unless we know, we'd like to talk to you one-on-one. I'd like to address you by name and I want you to address me by name. And, that is how we build a relationship. I would request you, send us your questions, but please send us your name also so that we can talk to you directly. It will help us a great deal. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.